For men, um, how does a young woman see those qualities in a man? 'Cause it's easy to say, "I wanted a man to be like my dad."
Hmm.
But how does a woman notice that? Because that's something as men we don't always know. Because especially in this day and age, certain men are lacking confidence when they meet a woman,
Yeah,
and a lot of the time, instead of being themselves, they
yeah,
become who they think the woman wants them to be, which is usually two different things,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We always say, "Be yourself." What does that mean? No one can ever be themselves. It's very difficult to
yeah,
not wear a mask in any situation.
yeah, yeah.
But to understand what a woman would look for in a man and how she would hold them against the values and principles her father has shown her.
Mm.
How does that feel for a woman to see that, to understand that, to meet a man and know, wow, this man's actually got something?
Yeah, I know it's I do agree. It's a really difficult situation that I feel a lot of men are going through right now of they do fear how to even approach a woman because of what we know about societal issues around consent and harassment and all the horrible things that are going on. I think a lot of men feel fearful on how do I even approach a woman now? How do I even start a relationship and take that first step? But on the flip side of what women are looking for, I can't speak for all women, but I can definitely speak for myself, was that I was just looking for the qualities of a good person, of a kind person. Um, I was looking for the good, the bad, and the ugly. I didn't want to just see all the niceties because it's very easy for somebody to turn up on those first dates and be their best selves and show this beautiful picture about themselves. But as time goes on, you also see the darker sides of people. And I think that's important that you know who that person is. Um,
Probably more important, I'd say,
more
right?
important, yeah, absolutely, and to see that array of who that person can be. And I remember some of the things I would look for, like this is just an example with my partner now, is that when we were first seeing each other, I would look at how he would treat like wait staff
Mm.
in like a restaurant if we go out um or even when we're in shops and he'd be talking to like staff or assistants in a shop, I would look out for like how he was treating other people, not just myself.
Yeah.
How did he treat the other people in his life, the other women in his life? I think that's also quite an important
Mm.
representation of who a man can be. How do they treat their mother? How do they treat their sisters? And obviously, not all those relationships are going to be perfect. And not that that should be the be all and end all, but I think they can be a reflection on who that man is.
Yeah.
And so I guess I was looking for some of those things. But it's funny because when I first met my husband, I didn't like him at all. We met in quite an interesting circumstance. He was in the audience the first time I ever performed poetry. It was the first time I kind of plucked up the courage to go perform at this arts an open mic night going on in West London. I'm from East London. Went all the way to West and thought, you know what, nobody knows me there. If it goes terribly wrong, I'm just going to run back home and never do it again. And he was in the audience that night because he was looking for poets to come perform at an event that he was doing. So we actually didn't speak that night, but weeks later, he got in touch. It was all very professional. He wanted me to get involved in this event that he was doing. And I didn't like him at all.
Mm.
I judged him on his job. I judged him on what he looked like, on the clothes that he wore. I was, I guess, a very artsy
Creative?
teacher, creative, working in the public sector. His job was the complete opposite of that. So on paper, we were complete opposites. And then in my brain, I was telling myself I wasn't attracted to that. And it was only months later that actually I took the time to get to know him. We sat down and had a conversation with each other. We went to go see a photography exhibition at the V&A. And we sat there having lunch. And before we knew it, we were sitting there for 5, 6 hours and the
Mm.
museum was about to close and we hadn't even seen the exhibition that we were meant to go see. And that was when I really got to know who he was as a human. The good, the bad, the ugly. I learned about his childhood, his relationship with his family, his grandma, who is now my best friend, what it was like for him in school, what it was like for him growing up as a young Sikh man in the UK.
Mm.
Um, And that's where I guess I took the time to really get to know who he really was.
It's really interesting that you mentioned all those things
Mm.
because as our community grows and I speak to more and more men,
Yeah.
some of the men have come out of relationships. They're looking for love again,
Okay.
right? And I can see that they feel they have to be a certain type of man
Uh-huh.
to get the kind of woman that they want. And I've always said, look, be open, be honest, be vulnerable,
Yeah.
share where you've come from, because, like you said, talking about the wait staff, um, usually a good way to judge someone is how they treat other people,
Mm.
right? And if you can share your life experiences, sometimes the darkness gives, and the most difficult times gives people the best reflection of who you are, because it's so easy to be happy when things are going good. It's so easy to talk about our successes and how we've been celebrated. But if you can be honest and open and say, look, life hasn't actually been that easy for me.
Mm.
I've had to go through these challenges. You probably actually gain more respect, especially from a potential partner, because they
Yeah.
can see, wow, this man has really been through a lot.
Yeah.
And that doesn't show weakness, that shows strength, because naturally we're judging people based on how could I live my life with this person?
Yeah.
If things get difficult, which they definitely will with the
Yeah.
rhythms of life,
Yeah.
how do they handle that?
Yeah. And are they still gonna stick by you
Yeah.
when things do hit when the shit hits the fan
Yeah.
and things get ugly and things get dark and people make mistakes? Are they gonna stick by one another? And you can those are kind of qualities that you want to try and see in a person. So yeah, be vulnerable, be open, share those dark bits, share those
Mm.
bad bits, because that that is the honesty that we need to see from one another.